Greetings, mighty companions. Anna Kujawa here, and we are doing a course in miracles, as we always do on Mondays. We're here at the Rocky Mountain Miracle Center, and I always open my classes up on Mondays with an opening meditation. So let's go ahead and begin our class in that way. So if you are able to, go ahead and close your eyes and let's take a breath. Let go of our day. Let go of everything that happened up until this moment right now. Let go of the future, which has not happened yet. And allow your mind to come back home to the present moment of the right now, where you are right now. Allow your mind to rest. Allow your mind to rest in the perfection and the prosperity of the present moment. Allow your mind to rest in the power that is present right now and always. Asking yourself, what is happening right now? And who is with me right now? Who walks beside me? Who walks with me now? Asking your spirit this question and allowing what is here right now, what is so right now, to answer you. What is so right now? Who walks with me right now? Who am I right now? See if you can feel that presence that lives in the present. And breathe that presence in. See if you can feel its love and devotion for you. See if you can feel your love for it. For love is what this presence is, and love is what you are. See if you can feel that. And breathe. For just a few moments, can you allow yourself to rest in the love of this presence, its love for you, your love for it. Can you rest for a few moments in this holy relationship that you are in now and forever? I rest in the holy relationship I am in right now with Spirit, with Source. Can you feel yourself supported and sustained, protected in this holy relationship that you are in right now? See if you can feel it. It is real. It is the truth. It is here, surrounding you now. Can you feel that? Are you willing to let yourself be loved? Are you willing to let yourself be supported, sustained, and healed by this loving presence surrounding you now? Are you willing? Do you want that? How does it feel to not feel alone? Let yourself feel that for a moment or two. I am not alone. I am not on my own. I am loved by love. I am sustained by my loving Source. I am entitled to miracles. I accept that I am a child of God, and I accept my inheritance as a child of the universe. I accept. I say yes. I am willing. And thank you, love. Thank you, truth. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your sustenance in all the ways I think I needed. Thank you for your protection of my peace and my sanity. I place my mind in your service, Spirit. thy loving will be done in my life. I give you my life to guide today, Spirit. Be you in charge. And thank you. Beautiful. All right. Then when you're ready, open your eyes and take a deep breath and bring your awareness back to the room, back to your body. Way to pray, guys. Way to pray. Take those off. All right. Okay. Now I'm ready. Beautiful. Woo! All right. Okay. Okay. All right. That was just to bring you back down to earth, okay? Just to make sure you didn't get too high, away from your body and away from the world, into peace and aliveness. We've got to have some yips to bring you back. All right. So, lovely to see you all. Linda and Saki, lovely. And hi, Andrew, beautiful. Okay, so that was our opening prayer, where I never know what it's going to be. I'm just opening and seeing what happens. This is how we connect with our spirit. This is how we connect with the spirit that surrounds us, the spirit that sustains us, the spirit that guides us, the spirit that protects our sanity and our peace. This is how we realize that we are not alone, we are not on our own, and that we are provided for. The Course in Miracles has the workbook lesson, I am sustained by the love of God. And this lesson, I am sustained by the love of God, is a lesson that is reminding us of what it is that really sustains us, really provides for us. And it's not anything outside of us. What really allows the sustenance and the protection of our peace to flow into our life is the awareness that we are spirit and that we are loved, and the willingness to let ourselves be loved, and the belief that we deserve to be loved, that we deserve love. Same thing as saying we deserve love and support and sustenance. Okay? The Course in Miracles says there is not a lack in the universe. There's no lack of anything. No lack in the whole universe. Okay? But there is belief that we don't deserve whatever it is that we think we want or need. And so as we pray like this and make contact with the spirit of love and truth within us and devote ourselves into the service of this love and spirit, that is what removes the blocks to the awareness that we deserve it all, that we deserve all that the universe of love gives to all the universe's creations. So that's what I heard. Beautiful. Kathy says, love to all. Yes, love to connects and sustains this love. Yes, thank you, Kathy Hill. And hi, Daniel. Beautiful. Thank you, Saki. All right. So we're actually going to pick up where we left off last Monday. Now, normally I do random number generator on Monday, but Monday's class was so good and so juicy, such a profound topic, that I had the thought last week to continue on, and so that's what we're going to do. So where we are in the book is chapter 22. We're in the blue covered edition. Chapter 22, section 1. And we went up to paragraph 4, We finished through paragraph 3, and so we'll start on paragraph 4. So the name of this, and so the theme here is relationships. The Course in Miracles, chapter 15 through like at least chapter 22 is all relationships, 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 relationships. A Course in Miracles is very relationship-centered. The reason being that our one problem is separation, separateness. We think we're separate, we think we're different, and people who believe that they are separate become enemies. The only thing you can do when you're with somebody and you perceive that you're separate and different is do competition, contrast, and comparison. So that's how we make enemies out of each other. We believe in differences. The Course in Miracles says in this section, says all differences are of the body. And so this section talks about the two different kinds of relationships that are available to us. And according to the Course in Miracles breaks it down to special relationships and holy relationships. And these are the two types of relationships that we're all having, depending on our perceptions, how we perceive ourselves. So we're going to talk about the differences between these two relationships, a special relationship and a holy relationship. And then we're going to go talk about how to have the healed one, the healed, happy, abundant, healthy, joyous, increasingly happy relationship. All right. So I'm going to do a very brief review on what this section said was a special relationship, okay? And then we'll go on to what a holy relationship is. Feel free to ask any questions that might come up for you. If you do ask a question, if you can, put it in all caps, and that will catch my eye. So we all have so many questions about relationships, and so feel free to ask questions, and I love your feedback as well. All right. Okay, so the first, the special relationship. Okay, the special relationship, according to A Course in Miracles, is a relationship that is based on differences. What does that mean? What's a relationship based on differences? A relationship based on differences is where each person thinks that the other person has what they do not have, okay? And that's what a special relationship is based on. I am lacking something within myself, and I think that this person over here has that thing that I am lacking in myself. And they think that I have the thing that they don't have. Okay? So if I don't feel like I have enough value and worth, but I look at this person and they got lots, they seem to have lots of value and worth. And so, and that is the person that I choose to be in a relationship with. Okay, so special relationship based on differences where each person thinks the other person has what they do not have. Okay, so it's based on lack and differences. And in the special relationship, these two people come together, each to complete themselves and rob the other. Isn't that romantic? Okay. I feel incomplete. I feel unworthy. I feel like I'm lacking some stuff. I got some gaping holes in my perception about myself. I see that you have what I want. I now want to get with you because I want to get what I don't have. I want to get the worth. I want to get the value. I want to get the love. I want to get the power. I want to get the security. I want to get the specialness that I think you have that I don't. Now we're going to get together so I can get that from you. And it says these two people stay in this relationship until there's nothing left to steal, and then they seem to break up and they move along. Okay, anybody can relate to that? All right. This is what a special relationship is. When you are having relationships that are special like this, then what you will experience is you will experience wandering through a world of strangers. Okay, so in other words, a world of strangers. Who's a stranger? Someone who is unlike yourself. That's what a stranger is. Someone who's different from me. So when that's my basis for relationships, then I'm just wandering through a world of strangers who are different from me. Do you have what I lack? No? Okay, then I'm not attracted to you. Do you have what I lack? Are you different from me? Yes, you are. Wonderful. Then you have something that I need. All right, let's have a relationship. And these people, these relationships, these are relationships where both people will live with their bodies, perhaps under a common roof. But these two people will be worlds apart. That common roof will shelter neither of them. That's what kind of relationships that we will have when we see ourselves as incomplete and needing things, and when we see other people as different from us. Okay? So when this is talking about seeing people as different from us, basically it's saying, I believe that I'm lacking and other people have what I do not. That's what it means to see other people as different or unequal. Okay? So if you see people as different and you see yourself as incomplete and lacking, then the best you can do is have a relationship where you maybe have a common roof that shelters neither, living in the same house, but minds and hearts that are worlds apart. All right, anybody ever experienced that? Okay, yes, me too. Psyche says, yes. Psyche says, perfect definition of special relationship. Beautiful. And Tricia says, toxic special relationship. Exactly. That's the perfect definition of a toxic relationship. Okay, great. Now, a holy relationship is a relationship that starts from a different premise indeed. In a holy relationship, both people have looked within and seen no lack, no incompleteness. They didn't look within and go, if only I had a little more worth, if only I had a little more specialness, if only I had a little more power, if only I had a little bit more security, if only I had... These two people, when they looked within, they didn't see any lack. And so they, accepting their own completion, each one of them are just want to extend their own completion by joining with another, whole and complete as themselves. So that's the premise of a holy relationship. Both people have looked within, seen no lack, but they just want to extend their wholeness to another who is equally whole, just like them. I have it all. I have all the love, all the worth, all the value, all the power, and so do you, and it's so fun to extend it and share it with each other. It's then the two people are only coming together to celebrate the fact that their Creator has given them both everything and everybody else everything. They both come together to celebrate that we all have it all, and how fun is that? Wholeness, completeness is so much more fun than, oh no, I don't have enough, and they do, but how am I going to get it from them? And if I get it from them, then how can I keep it? They might take it back. That is no fun at all. If you've gotten together with somebody because you think they have something you lack, now you have to always be afraid that they might take it back. Now you have to be worried about protecting it. Okay, that is no fun. That's a lot of fear. Fear that, oh my God, I got this from them that I didn't have before them, but now what if they leave? And if they leave, oh my God, I'm screwed again, like I was before they were there. So that perception of incompleteness and that perception of differences makes it such that you can't have a truly, for real, fulfilling, safe, really fun, really joyous relationship. So, as always, it always comes back down to how we perceive ourselves. Are we perceiving ourselves as love created us, complete and whole, lacking nothing, having everything that God has given to all of God's creations? Or are we looking within and seeing that we don't feel complete, that we feel like we're missing something? It all comes back to how you perceive yourself. All right. Very good. Hi, Sarka. Lovely to see you. Yes, beautiful. Okay. Now, it says, now we're in paragraph 3, and it says, all the differences that we see between us are of the body. Okay? So now, in a holy relationship, we realize that there is no difference between us, that we have been created with everything exactly like they have been created with everything, that God creates with perfect fairness. That's what both people know in a holy relationship, that God creates with perfect fairness. What God gives to one creation, God gives to all creations. That's what those in a holy relationship know. And so, the people in the holy relationship, they're not looking at something in the other person that they want to take. And the reason that they're not doing that is because both people in a holy relationship, they haven't denied their own reality. They're not denying their own reality, feeling empty, and then looking to get some worth, value, and love from another. These two people in a holy relationship, they have not denied their own reality because their reality is the truth. And the reality is that our reality is completeness. Your reality is you're complete. You ain't missing anything. You ain't missing any love. You're not missing any value. You're not missing any worth. You're not missing any intelligence. You're not missing anything. You're complete. And we are the same. That's your reality. That's my reality. That's their reality, whether we see it or not. That's what two people in a holy relationship know. All right. Imagine that. What would that be like?
Are you reading paragraph 4?
I haven't gotten to paragraph 4 yet.
Oh,
I'm still doing a review.
okay.
Okay. I'm almost there. All right. Now, two people in a relationship like that, where they've not denied their own reality, which is their completion, and they look without and they see the other person is also complete. They both recognize that they're not different. They both have it all, even if they don't see it. These two people, their relationship stands just underneath heaven. Just under heaven do these two people stand. So when you're in a relationship like that, you're really close to heaven. Okay, what's heaven? Heaven is the real world. Heaven is the world where there is no lack, and there is no separation, and there is no stealing, and there is no taking, and there is no competing. There is only the awareness of completeness. So that's what the real world is. Sound fun? It sounds fun to me, okay? No competition, no lack, no death, no separation, no war, no disease. It's just a world where everybody knows they have it all, just like everybody else. And they extend that and share that with each other because it increases their joy. Okay? So I know that I am created, I am as God created me, whole and complete. And every time I extend that awareness, every time I extend and share my reality, the joy of my reality increases. So that's what's going on in the holy relationship. All right. Now, beautiful. So that was, okay, so now we're back. Now we're caught up to where we left off last week. Any questions or comments on the differences between the two types of relationships? Questions or comments? Everybody recognizes the special relationship and nobody recognizes the holy relationship. But I have had glimpses. I have had glimpses of the holy relationship, and even just the glimpses were the best I had ever experienced. Okay? And so now I am always studying the Course in Miracles to heal and let be corrected whatever remaining beliefs I have within myself that tell me that there's something missing within me. If only I had more of this, or more of that, or more of this. If only I was more of that, if only I was less of this. Okay? Whatever beliefs I have that tell me I'm not enough, I don't have enough, that I've got missing parts, or that I was created defective and missing important pieces. Anybody had that thought? Any beliefs I have like that, well, they will be shown up in high resolution Disney Technicolor in my relationships, okay? And wherever those beliefs are, whatever those beliefs are, those are the beliefs that are in need of correction by Spirit, the great corrector of perception. Okay, now, and so if you're wanting to find those misperceptions, those beliefs in lack within yourself, all you got to do is take note of when there is a grievance. Wherever the upset shows up in your life, wherever the grievance shows up, wherever the pain shows up, okay? Or wherever the competition or the grievance comes up. The grievances are all about, you were supposed to give to me what I lacked, and that would make me happy, but it didn't, and so that is, now I'm upset about you, with you. So grievances are what reveal to us where our perception of incompleteness is within ourselves, within our beliefs about ourselves. I'm upset with you because I believe there's a lack in me that I was looking for you to compensate for, and you said you would, and you tried, and it still didn't make me happy. So now I'm upset with you. If you were different, then I would be happy. Okay? So look no further than your upsets and your grievances to find those beliefs within yourself about where you are incomplete. All right. If you weren't looking for somebody to make up for some lack within yourself, then you'd never be angry with other people. It's hard to believe, huh? Bridget says, yes, I recognize the special relationship. Yes, beautiful. Tricia says, yes, I do recognize the oh-so special relationships, and I do recognize a holy relationship. Yes, beautiful, absolutely. Okay, and notice how neither of those relationships start from the other person or the type of relationship. Whether it's special or holy always starts from a premise. It always starts from beliefs, ideas within your own mind. That's where they all start. It has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with our perception within ourselves. All right. Paragraph 4. Think what a holy relationship could teach. Really, what could it teach? Well, here in a holy relationship is belief in differences undone. Here in a holy relationship is the faith in differences shifted to faith in sameness. So instead of like how we're different and how we have to compete, now we're focusing on how we are the same, And it says, here in the holy relationship is the sight of differences transformed to vision, right? So where it is that we used to look on how we were different and how we were enemies because of it, and we had to protect ourselves because of those differences, and we had to compete because of those differences. Now, the sight of differences has been transformed to vision, okay? And now, in the holy relationship, now our reason can lead us and the other to the logical conclusion of our union. Oh, logically, obviously, we're actually united. We're truly one. We're connected. We're not different from each other. We're actually one with each other. We came from the same source. We're made up of the same stuff. And we share the same reality, we share the same truth because we have the same source. Obviously, logically, we are one. All differences are just of the body. Wow. You are spirit, I am spirit. You are guiltless, I am guiltless. You are a child of God, I am a child of God, and the only thing that makes us seem different is the body, okay? So our sight goes from the body and how we're different to, I see that we are one in a holy relationship, okay? So where we used to focus on our differences, now we're focusing on our union. Then it says, and then it must extend your holy relationship or your union must extend as you extended when you and they joined. Your union must reach out beyond itself as you reached out beyond the body to let you and they be joined. So interesting. So very interesting concept here. Once you and another reached out beyond the body to join, also your holy relationship also must now extend beyond the form of your relationship. Very interesting how it says it must. So once you are having that holy relationship with another, that your holy relationship will not be able to be contained. Whatever is the content, the loving union of your relationship cannot be contained. And then the union that was born out of your decision to join now must extend. Interesting concept. So as soon as your relationship becomes holy, it becomes not just for you alone. It literally must extend beyond itself. Wow. So once your relationship goes holy, then it goes global. Once your relationship goes holy, it goes global. It's not just for you two alone anymore. Interesting concept. So you don't have to figure out how to extend our union. All we have to do is allow it to become holy, and then it must extend beyond itself. Very interesting. Thank you, Greg, for putting it up. All right. Then what happens? Well, now the sameness that we both saw in each other extends and finally removes all sense of differences so that the sameness that lies beneath all those differences becomes apparent. Wow. And then what happens? Well, here is the golden circle where you recognize the child of God. Because what is born into a holy relationship can never end. Wow. Okay, so do you see what happens? It's just told us how the holy relationship is formed. And then it says once it's formed, here's what happens in it and through it. And ultimately, what ultimately happens through it and because of it is that our holy relationship creates a golden circle. Isn't that beautiful? Have you ever been around two people and they were experiencing correct perception? They were experiencing their union instead of their differences. What did it feel like to be around those two people? It feels like you're in a golden circle. It feels like you're in a circle of light, golden light. That's what it feels like to be around two people. And what's happening that's producing this golden circle around those two people is that both people have come to recognize who they are as the child of God. Both people go, oh, I'm a child of God. We're the children of God. Yes.
That's the symbol of gold is ultimate purification.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, thank you.
After
that's
being
beautiful.
totally purified.
That's a beautiful image. Greg says that the golden circle, that gold is the image of purification. It's the light of something that is purified. Absolutely. So when your relationship is purified, then your relationship is holy. And what makes a relationship holy is because the purpose has been purified. So where we may have come together initially because of differences that we saw and getting purposes from the differences, that purpose was purified, and now we've come together to look upon our union, our sameness, what we both equally are. And what are we both equally? The children of God, a child of God. You're a child of God and I'm a child of God. That's all, that is our reality. And when these two people, when our purpose has been purified from differences and getting, and our faith goes to sameness and union, then literally there is a golden circle around us, an aura of purification, an aura of innocence. Wow. That, and then whatever is born into that circle, whatever is born into that holy relationship is something that can never end. Wow. How beautiful is that? Whatever gets created in that holy, in that golden circle, that radiant circle called a holy relationship, never ends. The love, the joy, the abundance, the awareness, the peace, it never ends. It's eternal. How beautiful is that? Now, any questions or comments about the holy relationship? Besides, yes.
I assume that it's fairly rare for two people to just miraculously manifest a fully functional, holy, sustained, holy relationship. Because I've never seen one.
Yes.
I can imagine that two people who have evolved enough to at least have moments where they don't feel like they lack for anything.
Yes.
Can join in a way where they're consistently not blaming one another, willing to forgive one another, and work with these ideas collaboratively, can at least have a foundation upon which to build something that can become increasingly more like that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we have seen that. It's funny because you're the second person today to ask me that question. And I really didn't know I forgot this is what I was doing tonight. And so the question is, you said, I would imagine that this is rare. And the answer is yes, it is rare. And then I heard you saying that you've seen and had experiences where people have had glimpses of that or had moments of that where they had correct perception. And then you're in their presence while they have correct perception of their sameness, their union, and not their differences, you know. And what I was saying earlier today, and same thing here, is that the Course does say that the holy relationship takes great effort and great willingness. And if you could maintain the holy relationship at all times, you really wouldn't need to be here. That earth is for people to come to learn, starting from the special relationship and learning and forgiving what? Forgiving the differences we perceived between us, and forgiving the differences we saw between us, and then our desire to get what we thought we lacked. That's what the forgiveness really is for, you know. And so yeah, what I was saying today to a client was that every effort made toward that makes your life and your relationship better and better and better, and it makes the world better and better and better, you know. So even just having that as a goal improves our relationship and improves our lives. Now, also, the Course in Miracles talks about in these relationship chapters that Holy Spirit is the one who's really going to be doing the heavy lifting here. You know, what we can't do for ourselves towards this, Spirit meets us halfway and takes us the rest of the way. So just having the goal of that is a freaking miracle to the max. And having that goal and having that desire truly does take us further and further toward that golden circle.
So the other thing that I wanted to bring up in this regard is, if we look at the Course of Metaphysics, it says we're just reviewing what has gone by. If we're really still in heaven, never really left, and this is all our collective nightmare, then the relationships we have in heaven are already whole. And we're just trying to remember,
yes,
or unlearn, remember that we still have all these holy relationships, and unlearn all the crap that we threw up.
yes,
Make us believe that we're separate.
yes. The Course absolutely does say that we're just reviewing what we did before we all woke up, remembering our essential completeness and union, you know. And that's a really fantastic perspective to have as you go through your learning lessons, that this is just what I did, this is what I learned and what I did before I woke up, you know, on my way to waking up and having holy relationships.
The point that's important to me about that idea, though, is that it tells me that my holy relationships are already accomplished.
Right, yes.
It's
Yes.
a done deal.
Yes.
It's already accomplished. Again, I'm just trying
Beautiful.
to remember. I already know what the goal is.
Yes.
And I already, from that perspective, I can already acknowledge that it's a done deal, it's accomplished.
Yes.
I'm just trying to catch up.
Yes.
Okay? hamstrung, retarded mind.
Exactly, absolutely. But having that perspective gives you patience, and it gives you forgiveness. You know, it's like the Course says, if you're certain of the outcome, you can afford to wait. And so it's wonderful. Like the Course says that it gives us a flash forward to the ending of the movie, so that we can wait as it unfolds and be relaxed. Like if you know that at the end of the movie everybody lives, you know, and it's a happy ending, then you can kind of relax and not take it so seriously, and relax a bit. So it's a wonderful. I can see why the Course in Miracles does tell us how it ends, and that the ending is inevitable. You know, and as you were speaking, what I saw here is that a holy relationship is like a miniature experience of heaven. What you experience in the holy relationship is what you experience all the time in heaven, the real world. So it's like a miniature of heaven. Like, okay, here's a little glimpse of what heaven is like. In heaven, in the real world, what you're experiencing is everybody has accepted their own reality. They know they are as God created them. They know they are perfect and complete, lacking nothing. They know that unity and oneness is the reality, is truth, and it makes them ecstatic. It's the core of ecstasy and joy. And so I see what it's saying here is that when you're experiencing a holy relationship, you literally are very close to the state of mind or the kind of world or the kind of life that you have in the real world, in reality. So, you know, and how beautiful is that? So the holy relationship is a golden circle. Also, what's heaven? It's when you are surrounded by nothing but beings and souls who know the truth about themselves, that they're one, they're the child of God, and that they're innocent and they're complete. So, interesting. Now I see why the Course in Miracles says that the holy relationship is the portal that we walk through into another world, the real world. The arc of pieces entered 2 by 2, as we talked about last week. All right. Greg says, I have tried to start holy relationships with others, but since I am new, I create chaos sometimes. Thank you. Thank you, Greg, for that honest expression. Yes, us too. And then Greg asks, what would be my next step? Beautiful, wonderful question. Yes, me too, Greg, absolutely. The next step is patience and forgiveness for yourself, and the remembering that readiness is not mastery. So that's the next step. And the next step is to keep trying. Now, also the next step, we heard the holy relationship starts from the premise where both people have looked within and seen no lack. Okay, so there's our ultimate clue about how to attract them and to create them. So forget about the other person or another person and go back to the drawing board. What is it within me? Where is it that I believe that I am lacking something within myself? Where is it I see a lack of love, a lack of value, a lack of worth, a lack of power, a lack of strength, a lack of security, and on and on and on and on. Work on bringing those beliefs in lack in yourself to correction, to your higher self. Holy Spirit, your perception corrector. Because that, once you are taking care of that within your own self, then you will naturally draw to you somebody who is working on doing the same. So that would be the thing to do next, is just go right on back to yourself and keep working on yourself, your own beliefs, your own perceptions. All right, great question, Greg. Yeah, when I have looked within and seen no lack of love and value, then guess what I'm going to attract within myself? And if I have attracted somebody who really didn't want to do that work, or started to do that work and decided they didn't want to keep doing that work, then remember that all you're seeing is a reflection of your own fear of joining. And bring it to the great corrector of perception for correction. So, spirit within me, I perceive that I have a lack of power, or a lack of strength, or a lack of will, or a lack of value, a lack of worth. And I ask for the correction of that belief. I want your truth to replace my misperceptions, and I ask for the truth about myself. All right. So, fantastic question. Beautiful. Saki says, I love this topic. All right. Okay, now, what was it? I didn't understand what you were saying about the...
I think last week when we did the random number generator, it came up with number 1.
Yes, that's right.
And we did chapter 1. We should have did the introduction. That should have been probably number 1.
Oh, you mean of well, this is chapter 22, section, we did the introduction.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no, we started last week on the introduction.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you were just reading.
I just recapped.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. All right, wonderful. How are we doing on time? Okay, so great. Well, why don't we just go on right on into the message of the holy relationship? All right. How are you guys doing? Do you have, and if you have any questions about what we're talking about when it comes to relationships and A Course in Miracles, feel free to ask. And then Greg, I'm going to ask you, did that answer your question? All right. Beautiful. Thank you, Saki. Okay, the message of the holy relationship. Well, let reason take another step. If you attack whom God would heal, that's the people in your life. And in other words, if you're going to hate the people that God loves, then you and your Creator have a different will. Okay? So if you are hating the people, the souls that God loves, then you and God have a different will. All right. And what does seem to come up in our special relationships with other people? A lot of freaking hate. All right. It says, but yet if you are God's will, then what you must then believe is that you are not yourself. If you think you and God have a different will, and you think you have a different will, then you must believe you are not. Oh, if you think you and God have a different will, then and you are God's will, then you must believe you are not yourself. Okay? So, I believe I am not myself. Then it says, and you can indeed believe you are not yourself, and you do believe you are not yourself. See, I don't realize I am God's will. You know, we always say, thy will be done, I want God's will, not realizing, hey, you are God's will. And if you think you have a different will than God's, and you are God's will, then you do not believe, you do not know yourself. Now, and you have faith that you are not yourself, and you see much evidence on behalf that you are not yourself, and then where, you wonder, does your strange uneasiness your sense of being disconnected, and your haunting fear of lack of meaning in yourself arise. Right. Anybody ever experienced those feelings? Okay. If you've ever experienced anxiety, depression, despair, that's what you're experiencing. You're experiencing a strange uneasiness, a sense of being disconnected, a haunting fear of lack of meaning in yourself. That's what you're experiencing. It says, it's as though you wandered into this life without a plan of any kind, except to wander off from this life, because only that seems certain. What's the only thing that seems certain? That you wandered in, and someday you're going to wander off out of this life. Okay? That is the essence of existential anxiety or existential depression or despair. I don't know what I am. I don't know what I am, and I don't feel like myself, and I'm just kind of wandering around through my life. I'm just kind of wandering around through my life, doing what? Seeming to have no plan at all, with nothing certain, except that someday I'm going to die. Wow. That is a profound description of the human condition, the human mental condition, where we as humans, in denial of what we are, not knowing who and what we are, and then if you don't know who and what you are, all you're going to experience yourself is wandering through life without a plan, uncertain of everything except that you're going to die. But have a nice day. And that is why we are so addicted to things that dull our sense of anxiety and psychic pain, because we all feel like that. And when you feel like that, you don't know who and what you are. You feel uncertain, feel like you're just wandering through life without a real plan, the only certainty being death. Then what do you think you're going to be doing? You're going to be looking for ways to escape and dull your psychic pain. And hence all of our addictions to all the different things that we're addicted to, like distractions. So, okay. That was section 1 of the message of the holy relationship. Now, can anybody relate to that? Absolutely, absolutely. It says, yet we have heard a very similar description earlier, but it wasn't of you. But still, this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. So there's something that is a strange idea that's not us, but we think it's us. I wonder what that is. Well, reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you. To whom would seeing such as this send back its messages? Surely not you, whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. Well, if this is not your vision, what can it show to you? Okay, so let's stop here and see what it's saying here. All right, so what it's saying here is that our ego, which is not us, is looking upon the world. Our ego, which is not who we are, is looking upon the world and sending back its messages, but not to you, who don't even have eyes that look out. It says, now, if the ego that's not you is looking out on the world and sending back the messages to not you, then what can your eyes, your ego, show you? Okay, in other words, this is why we have this haunting experience of lack of meaning. This is why we're haunted by this experience of a lack of meaning in our lives. Because, not that because there is no meaning, but because our ego is looking out upon the world through its eyes, and it is not us, and it's sending back messages to us that is not the ego. So in other words, that's why the world we experience doesn't mean anything. It seems so meaningless. And the Course in Miracles says, I'm suffering because I'm seeing a meaningless world. I'm experiencing a haunting lack of meaning in my life. What's the meaning of my life? What's the meaning? Where's the meaning? Okay? That's what's haunting us. And the reason being is because we're sending the ego's eyes to look out on the world and report back to us what's there. But the ego's not us. So does that make sense? Okay. And this is why we experience a strange uneasiness in life, a sense of being disconnected in life, and a haunting fear of lack of meaning in ourselves. Wow. That is the perfect description of depression, anxiety, and existential everything. Existential confusion. Okay? Wow. The reason I feel disconnected, the reason I feel uneasy, the reason I feel haunted by a lack of meaning is because my ego is the one that is looking out upon the world and reporting back to me what it sees, as if it's me. And what do you think the ego is going to report back when your ego looks out upon the world? And you're looking on the world through the ego's eyes, the ego that's not you. What do you think you're going to feel? You're going to feel like I am a stranger. I do not know who I am. What is going on? Wow. It's really deep because it really explains that. All right. Okay. Now, it says, this you would understand. What your vision sees, you would understand. The brain interprets to the body, of which the brain is a part. But what the brain says, you cannot understand. Yet you have listened to what your brain tells you, and you have listened long, and you have long and hard you have tried to understand your brain's and your ego's messages. Whew. Wow. So what comes to you through your brain and your body is something that is messages that are not really for you. Okay? That's not you. That's not the truth. What your brain and your body is reporting to you has nothing to do with you. But here I am trying to understand all the messages that my brain is sending and my ego is sending me from the world, trying to understand them, trying to make sense of them. When the truth is that what is true for me is not being reported through my brain, and my eyes, and my ego, and my body. If you want to know who you are, if you want to know what you are, so that life makes sense to you, then that it comes from messages from within you, not from the brain or your eyes or the body or the world. Okay? So if I'm trying to understand the messages I'm getting from the world, which is being interpreted through my brain, then I will always feel a haunting sense of lack of meaning within myself. Until I'm looking within for my own reality that isn't being reported through my eyes and my brain from the world, then I'll never know what I am. And what kind of experience do you think you're going to have in the world if you truly don't know what you are? You're just going to be confused, and you're going to feel like a stranger, and you're going to have a haunting sense of lack of meaning in yourself. Wow. Boy, does this explain planet Earth or what? In the human condition. Wow. So I'm listening to the messages that my brain is reporting through my body instead of going within, and asking, what am I of my source? Instead of asking, what am I of the world?
And asking, what does this mean or that mean?
Yes.
Asking for
Yes.
guidance instead of making it up on our own.
Exactly.
The word that I just came up with and never associated with it on such a massive scale is gaslighting.
Yes.
We've essentially agreed to
Yeah.
allow ourselves to be gaslit on a massive collective scale.
By the ego.
By the ego.
Yeah, we've allowed our ego to gaslight us on a collective scale. Mankind. Absolutely. You know, the collective ego and the individual ego. The ego. Yeah, exactly. We have been collectively gaslit by the ego. You know, the ego, which is looking out onto the world and explaining what it sees to us as if it's us.
As if it knows.
As if it knows. As if it knows. That's why we hear that unless you become as little children, then you'll never experience the kingdom of heaven. You won't enter the kingdom of heaven. Little children know they don't know, and so they ask one they trust. You know. So we've been asking the ego, explain it to me, ego. Explain to me what's going on. Explain to me the world, ego. Explain to me, ego, what this all means. And long and hard we have tried to understand the ego's messages. We've called it getting educated. You know, and all it has led to is that we feel a haunting lack of meaning in ourselves and our lives, and we feel disconnected. So, beautiful, very deep concept here, very deep concept about allowing the ego to interpret to us who are not the ego. All right, beautiful. Tricia says, I have this, I have that disorder of disease. Then the body goes, oh yeah, and the brain says it's real when it's not. Very good, exactly. All right. Okay. Now, it says, now we're paragraph 3, and we're so we are 22, section 1, the message of the holy relationship. What we had just finished was the intro. All right, then it says, this is very deep, very deep. So it says, okay, all right, we finished that. Great, paragraph 3. You have not realized it is impossible to understand what fails entirely to reach you. You have received no messages at all you understand, because you have listened to what can never communicate at all. Think then what happens. Denying what you are and firm in the faith that you are something else, like the ego, this something else, the ego, that you have made to be yourself, becomes your sight. Yet it must be the something else, the ego, that sees and as not you explains its sight to you. So that's what the ego is. So we made up this thing that's not us, called the ego, and then we have asked for it to see and it to explain what it sees, even though it's not us. And it says, your vision would of course render the ego's vision quite unnecessary. But if your eyes are closed and you have called upon the ego to lead you, asking the ego to explain to you the world the ego sees, then you have no reason not to listen to your ego, nor do you have any reason to not suspect that what the ego tells you is not true. Wow. Now, reason would tell you that what the ego sees cannot be true because you don't understand it. Wow. That's how reason would tell you that if you don't understand what you see, then it must be not true. Because what is true is going to be easily understandable to you. Whereas the ego, since it's not true, you aren't going to naturally understand. And the reason for all of this is because God has no secrets. So if you don't understand something, then that is definitely the ego. Because what God knows, what is true, is no secret. It says God is not leading you through a world of misery, waiting to tell you at the journey's end why he did this to you. Very interesting. So we're talking here about using the ego as your seeing eye dog, using your ego to explain the world to you. So here's your two options. You can either let the ego explain the world to you, the ego that's not you and doesn't love you and doesn't know anything and only sees separation, or you can go within, you can call upon another vision. So it says you can go within and access your vision. There is something else that you can call upon. You can either call upon your ego to see the world for you and explain the world to you, or you can call upon your true vision, the spirit within you, to see the world for you and explain the world to you. Those are your two options. Now, when you're asking your ego, when you're listening to your ego, you've asked your ego to explain the world to you. When you're listening to your ego. When you're listening to your ego, you said, ego, would you please tell me what's going on here? And the ego goes, gladly. What's going on here is you should be very afraid, you should be very angry, and you are full of lack and guilt, and you don't have enough, and you're separate, and everybody's different, and you're gonna die. Okay? And he says, if you have been listening to your ego, you have no reason to not believe what your ego tells you. And you can always tell when your ego is translating or interpreting for you because you don't understand what it's saying, and also you don't feel good. You feel no peace, no joy. And so the good news here is that there is another voice, a better voice, a true vision, your vision within you that is available to look upon the world for you. First, looking upon you and explaining to you what it sees. And when you're hearing what Spirit shows you, that is something that you will understand, and it's something that you will love. That's the way to know whether you have called upon your ego to explain the world, or you have called upon your true vision from within you, your higher self. And the truth here also is that whatever is true is no secret. Okay, what's real, what's true, what's reality is not something that's being withheld from you, unless you can somehow prove your worthiness or figure it out. Okay, what is true in reality is no secret. God has no secrets. Whatever is of God is freely available to everyone in all space and time. God has no secrets. So if it's something that's being withheld from you, then it's not true. Yes?
A scripture from the Bible, for God is not the author of confusion, but the author of peace.
Beautiful. I love that. Beautiful. Greg, what was that you quoted?
1 Corinthians, Paul said, for God is not the author of confusion, but the author of peace. Beautiful.
God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. Okay? So when you don't understand what you see, it doesn't make any sense, it doesn't make you happy, then you can know that was your ego, that was you asking your ego to explain the world to you, that was you choosing to listen to your ego about what it meant and what it is. Because the ego is expert only in confusion. And if you have asked God and Spirit to explain to you what it is coming from who you are, then it is something that you will understand and love. Because God has no secrets. God isn't leading you through a world of misery, waiting to tell you at the journey's end why he did this to you. Good to know. All right. So let's stop here and let me read some comments. Beautiful. Hi, Hannah. Lovely to see you. And Greg Holston says, God has no secrets. What is correct? What is the correct perception of the ego? Thank you. Great question. The correct perception of the ego is a stranger who wandered in to your consciousness, into your mind, that you forgot to say no to. The ego is the not you, the stranger who wandered into your consciousness, who said, I live here, I live here, get out. And we said, okay, and then we left. Hi, sweetie. That's what the ego is. The ego is the stranger who wandered in. And we said, oh, yes, I will leave my own home. The Course in Miracles says, fear is the stranger. The Course in Miracles workbook lesson, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. And this stranger, the ego, who wandered in carelessly into your consciousness, will also wander off if you will not let yourself be so needlessly dispossessed. And the way that happens is that when the ego starts talking, you do not have to listen. You do not have to follow. You do not have to leave your peace. You don't have to leave your right mind just because the ego wandered in and said, this is my house, get out. That is how the ego is made homeless. So that's the goal here. So what I hear it saying here is that we don't have to listen. You know, when you listen to the ego, you are allowing the ego to come into your home, your mind, and you're allowing it to take over. So that's what that's what the correct perception of ego. It's the not you that believes it is you and is trying to see as you and talk for you when it's not you at all. All right, beautiful. Carol says, not really a disease, just a developing trust. Beautiful. All right, that was some pretty deep thoughts there. That was some very deep course. Very deep course. So, I hope that it has been helpful, even though it was very deep. And I hope it was still practical in some way, shape, or form. That's always my goal. And then next Monday, we'll see what random number generator has for us then. So, I'm just going to do announcements real quick, and then a couple-minute integration meditation, and then we will stop here for this session. All right. So announcements are, I do 2 live streams a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, live on Facebook, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. On Wednesdays, we do the complete and annotated edition of A Course in Miracles. On Mondays, like today, we do the random number generator, where we let Spirit decide what we read from A Course in Miracles. I am a holistic psychotherapist. I have a psychotherapeutic niche called Miracle Psychotherapeutics. And if you could use a one-on-one session of applying these ideas to whatever you're going through, I'm available for that. Best way to reach me is either to private message me on Messenger or go to my website, annakujawa.com. That's ANNAKUJAWA.com. Find my phone number and text me. It's the best way to reach me. Awesome. Greg does a beautiful Course in Miracles Bible synthesis class every Tuesday from Miracle Park, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Beautiful class. I highly encourage you to check it out. And that's it for the announcements. And thank you, Carla. Lovely to see you. All right. Beautiful. Now, let's just take a couple of minutes and actually just use these ideas. Beautiful. Just take a breath. And we're going to allow these ideas to kind of percolate down. Allow these ideas to just set in your mind. Beautiful. All right, well, let's just bring to our awareness a situation or a relationship where there is conflict, where there is not peace. A special relationship. And we heard that the specialness and the pain of that relationship comes because it was based on differences. I had been seeing differences between me and them. They had been seeing differences between me and them. And so we were just coming together to get something that we lacked. And so grievances of dissatisfaction resulted. Let's go ahead and practice making it into a holy relationship. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to look within and see what it was, and we're going to identify what it was that we thought was lacking within ourselves. In this relationship where there is conflict and grievances, what was it that you had looked within and saw a lack of, that you then looked out to find the person who had that you could get? Beautiful. Now, let's go ahead and work the remedy for that perception, that misperception of lack. Now, let's look within and ask Spirit, Holy Spirit, the voice of truth within us, to look upon us, for us, and show us our truth. So Spirit within me, higher self within me, I ask you to look upon me, showing me the truth about myself as I was created by God, by love. Show me myself through your understanding, Spirit. Show me what I am in total. Show me the completeness about myself that is my reality that I have denied. Explain me to myself, Spirit within, voice for God within me. In this holy instant, I'm not going to look out through my body's eyes upon the world, asking my ego to explain the world to me. I'm not going to ask my ego what I am. Spirit of truth within me, I ask to see myself through your vision, which is ultimately my true vision. What do you know about me? How do you see me, and how do you see the world? Spirit of truth within me, show me that I have everything within me that the Creator has given to all of its creations. Show me that I have the love, I have the power, I have the peace, I have the love that I thought I lacked. Help me to see that I remain exactly as God created me. I'm still powerful, still whole, still complete, still guiltless. Still brilliant and beautiful as God created me. Show me that I have what God has given to everyone. Show me. I ask to see my truth through your eyes, your vision. Practice feeling the completion within you that is the truth of your creation. Practice feeling your reality, your completeness. I remain exactly as God created me. I lack for nothing. God has indeed given me everything. And say that to yourself, God indeed has given me everything. And let the truth be true. Beautiful. And to that we say amen. All right, good work, guys. Lovely to see you. Thank you, Rebecca. Hi, Demi and James and Patty. Hi, and Jimmy. Lovely to see you all. If you would like to share this message with the world, go ahead and post it on your Facebook feed. And don't forget to go check out my YouTube channel as well, where you can see years worth of my classes in an organized, easy way. And when you do, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That helps this ministry to grow and to extend. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you next time I see you.